we'll take this moment to like get quiet for a minute and kind of really sit and think about what are the seeds that you intentionally planted? What were the seeds that you wanted to see bring forward? And have they manifested? Have they grown any fruit? Have they grown any crops? And if they haven't, this is the time for us to really release them, to really let them go, because we want to make ourselves so available to what's coming in, so available to all the new energies and the influxes and what is coming on board. I really don't know what 2021's going to be like, but what I do know and what my guides keep sharing and what my personal work is how much do I step into it in my light body? How much do I step into it and bring in my presence, my light, my love, my unconditional love, my compassion? Because that's the world I want to create. Because if anything that I remember from the last election period, when everyone was kind of shocked at the turnout, I was not. Because I knew all the energy was going towards what we didn't want to create. I mean, some people wanted to create it, but then on the other side, the other side that didn't want the president that we have right now, their focus was still on him, on either not wanting him, not wanting, but all focus was put on the fear. All focus was put on the division. All focus was put on everything we didn't want to create. So if anything that I can share with you right now, what I keep hearing from Spirit blaring in my head is right now it is critical for you to walk and move in whatever energy you want to see in the world. If you want to see peace, you can't keep throwing out war. If you want to see, like, and I know that's very hard and it's very easy to get pulled into everything that's happening, and I myself included. But I don't want to create what happened 4 years ago. I want to create a different reality. So I unplug. You know, I can't watch the news and not get pulled. I'm not that evolved. Like, I will go down the rabbit hole and the fear and the confrontation and it won't do anything to create the world I want to create. So right now, my focus has to completely be on, if I believe that this is the age of Aquarius, that's where my focus has to be. That's where, even if my world does not reflect that, and the world does not reflect that right now. I think it was Wayne Dyer, it said, it's not when you see it, you believe it. It's when you believe it, you say it. So it's the exact reverse. So we got to believe it, even though it's not visible right now. And maybe it is visible in some aspects of your life. And there are small pieces of my life where I can see that peace and flow and synchronicity. But in the majority, no. And in the collective, especially not. So if I really want to create that, I have to keep creating that in my inner world. And that's a hard task to do right now. It's a very hard task to stay in alignment with that, to stay in alignment with what we want to create. So one of the things this week that I've been working with is really, and actually, and if anyone else wants to put it in their kin to or what they want to release, is that place of victimhood. So I had an interesting journey this week with victim. I worked it in a little piece in ceremony with a group of people, but then I needed to go further. So I went in with victim, and Dolphin Energy took me to this place, and I was buried alive, being put into an initiation. It was very scary. It was very dark. I could feel myself dying. I could feel the worms eating me. I could feel that place of not being able to breathe. That place where there wasn't light or life anymore. And then I was reborn. Just like out of the Christ, I could see myself arise from that grave. And what came out of it was just pure light. It was just a pure golden light. And what I was told was what was born out of that death, of that place of holding victim in my life and the collective victim, was wisdom and courage. That it takes great courage and wisdom to rise above those lower energies that are happening right now, those lower energies that are playing out all over the world right now. And then interestingly enough, to work with that, I have anyone hasn't met me, I have a very strong ego. So I was given a sword, but not like a sword to strike down. It was kind of like the MacArthur, like, that wasn't the right word. What is it? Arthur, like an Arthurian sword, where it was, what it was called was like the sword of truth. So it was the sword of my truth. And that what they were showing me was not to cut someone down. And I'd never thought about it this way. And I was actually sharing this actually with my therapist this morning. I've always been trained how to cut cords with people, but never thought about the concept of cutting cords with my own thoughts, cords with my own behaviors and patterns and belief systems that hold me back. So I was shown that when I start to see, when I start to blame someone or play that place of victim and put blame out there, that then I was to cut the cord of my own thought with this sword of truth, with this sword of light. So it was a very interesting concept that I had never considered, that I can use the same technique that I use to cut cords with others, to cut cords with those parts of myself that aren't in service, those parts of myself that aren't in alignment with where I wish to be. So that they're, and not to discount them, because our ego is much needed, but like I've always shared, but the ego can't be the driver right now. It cannot be the driver of the vehicle, and we are the vehicle. Our soul has to right now be the driver of our vehicle. And a soul is only light and love. So if you're experiencing anything else, you're not in your soul. You know, you're not, I shouldn't say in soul, in spirit. Spirit is only light and love. So we have to let our spirit, that spirit, soul driven part of ourselves, be what's going to affect the change. And so to me, this is a very powerful night, given the fact that we have this trifecta of energy. And that's where energy ceremony is so magnificent to bring into this time frame, this place and this period that we're in right now, because we can affect some tremendous change by bypassing our ego, by going into that, you know, really deeply diving into our soul, deeply diving into communion with our higher self, with Creator. And like I said before, however you see Creator, God, Allah, Goddess, whatever it is, could be a rock. Like if it is what makes you feel that connection to that part of yourself, that brings you back into your empowerment. And not power over. Like, we're not here to have power over anyone. Because as far as I'm concerned, if I am moving in this world in love and light and envisioning that, and for whatever reason, the other candidate gets elected who I didn't choose, I have to trust that that's part of the love and light. Even if it does not reflect what my will says that should be. But I'll know I've given it everything I got if my intention and my motivation behind it is to create love and light in the world, is to create that age of Aquarian, is to create and effect change in the world. We are the agents of change. And it's what all I keep hearing from Spirit is it's time. It is time for us to step into that role. It's time for us to step into that part of ourselves. It's that place of stepping out of victim. There is no magic person that's going to come here and shift anything. It starts internally and it starts within. So how do we step more into that place of our empowered selves and more into that place of creating the world that we want and bringing that out into the world. And to me, that's where ceremony is a beautiful vehicle to create that, because we can bypass all of our limiting beliefs about anything that's happening. Because we could run with, I could run, I won't say anyone else, I could run with 1,000 different limiting beliefs of what can happen right now. In some ways, it feels quite apocalyptic. But just think about that in the sense, the apocalyptic energy, that means that it's all combusting. It's all breaking down. And that actually is amazing news. It could happen with more compassion and I believe more gentleness and not have to get as destructive. The more that those of us that are more consciously working with it can step into that place of compassion and love, but especially with ourselves. I won't speak for anyone else, but I can beat the shit out of myself. I can go through the minute a thought comes up, be like, come on, Kim, you've been doing this forever. Why are you down this rabbit hole again? Why are you down in this dark abyss and believing that all these things are your truth when you know it's not your truth? Bottom line is because we're human. Bottom line, it's because we've been conditioned on so many levels. And that's where I think it's cool when I was given that sword, is that I can start to sever that place, to start to disconnect. We can start to disconnect from all those places that take my energy and take my life force in a direction that's not in service. Because you remember anyone that was here when Jorge was here, you know, light, the definition of light and the definition of the triangle of empowerment is that light is love that is in service and it is wise. So are our actions being in love with, acted out in love, service, and wisdom? So how much can we come from that place within ourselves? And part of being able to do that is seeing what are the seeds. What are the seeds that we planted that didn't bear fruit, and don't question it, because maybe it wasn't supposed to. Like, we can all have a theory, or maybe at that moment that was what was in your highest good, but we shift and we evolve constantly. So maybe now it's like, you know, think of it like, I don't know, your phone can have an update every 2 freaking days these days. I'm like, how many different things can they update? Like, I'm like, I updated it last week. Why is there another update? But think about that. So when we made those prayers in March, we were in a place of, in a pandemic and not knowing what was going to happen. And like me, people out of work and no job and no, it was a very fearful time. So maybe some of those seeds we planted were out of desperation. We're not out of our highest good, but more survival. And we don't need to, the world right now doesn't need us to be primal. It doesn't need us to be moving from a reptilian brain, from any place of fight or flight. We need to, not we need to, Spirit saying, don't say that. But what would be in our highest advantage to accessing that higher part of ourselves is to raise that vibration. So maybe some of the seeds we planted were out of desperation. I know mine was, to be able to figure out how to find money. Like, and thankfully I did, like through all different weird avenues, but I did. But is that a belief system I need to hold now? Because that's not a belief system that's in abundance. That was a belief system born out of scarcity. That was a belief system brought about fear. So, and I'm just processing that with you. So anyway, that's one thing I'm thinking, that's one seed I want to take out, because that still was almost saying but that's the dichotomy of me. So maybe I'll share this with you guys. I don't know if you do this too. There's a part of me that always knows my spirit creator always has my back and will hold me and has always done it. And when I've stepped through things that seemed literally impossible, but there still is always that part of me that holds those beliefs that still is like, really? How? Really? Do you really think that's possible? But I will give my spirit is I always trudge forward, but it isn't always without that naggy little voice that's in your head that's always telling you what you can't do and what's not possible. I'd like to finally be able to do something without having to get over that to get to the other part. If that makes sense to anyone. Like, do I always have to have that internal dialogue that is pulling me down and is self-defeating to be able to have to then overcome that and then the rest of everything else out there? But Spirit just told me, because everything out there is a 3D projection of what's inside. So of course I'm going to have all those reflections because that's what I'm feeling inside. So that's a place of not being in blame and in victim and owning what's on the outside. So I want to try to step more into ease and grace in my life. And I make that prayer for the world. That's my prayer constantly for the world. And I make that prayer and I invite you all to that be one of your prayers tonight. Is how do we step into 2021 in ease and grace? Does anyone know the meme going around right now? It's kind of funny that when we set the clocks back, or it was a full moon, there was like 3 things going on. It was a full moon, it was something else and something else.
Oh,
when you change the clocks back and they're going, it's a full moon again. They're like, hopefully.
In March it was, I forget what 3 things were happening.
Yeah.
Climate change, maybe Easter.
Yeah, something like all these changes were happening, and it's all going to happen again when we change the clocks back. So everyone's going, we hope this means it's a reset. Yeah. So the time change. Yeah. So it's like maybe when we go to flip the switch, they say we're only turning. They're going first back. We're only turning time back if it's not more time of this. But it's also like that maybe that's going to create the reset. That it'll be like, okay, you did a half a year like this. Now we can go. Although I think we all have come to understand our old normal is not going to exist anymore. And that's a good thing on some levels. This time has really uncovered a lot of things that have laid in shadow that need to be brought into light, that need to be healed and honored and to be owned. And so our normal isn't going to be the old normal. And that freaks me out too a little. I mean, someone else. I don't know what that was. Did they stop hearing me?
It says it. Or is it?
Can they hear me at all? You can? Jules, you can hear me? Okay.
Yep, you're good.
And I'll try to speak louder, but my Wi-Fi for some reason is being a little weird, a little wonky right now. So, but it's staying on, so that's a good thing, and recording.
I think she was just commenting on what you were saying and saying that things weren't normal to begin with. So
okay. Yeah. Well, yes. That wasn't. So we're going into this unprecedented time. So how are we going to step into it? And that's why I was when I realized all the things happening, and I'm really excited about doing the fire on the full moon. Although I'm not doing it on Halloween, we'll be doing it, which is even weirder, on Mischief Night. Like, I don't know if Mischief Night even happens anymore. But anyway, so, but I kind of want to look at this as we are in challenging, auspicious times, but it is powerful times. So if we can keep, what I keep trying to do with myself is just this an invitation for you guys, is keep shifting my thought from what the fuck to what the fuck. Like, it's like, we're at this pivotal time right now. So what better time to be alive? And to me, all of us have chosen to be here at this time for whatever purpose. And we can either keep digging through the muck, or we can just honor the muck. Like, that's what I've been having to do lately, is just honor every shitty aspect of myself, or something that I believe to be shitty about myself. It just is. It was, it is, and to forgive myself. One of the other things that came up for me when I did two different things, well, victim blame came up, but I did another journey with blame. And the blame was sharing with me that when I went to go point blame at someone, is that then I had to look back and look at that piece, that whatever I was projecting out there is me. So to put up a mirror, to look at that mirror, and then to forgive myself for it, so that it won't have power over me anymore. Because if I'm blaming someone, I'm projecting what's going on within me to someone else. So I just need to take ownership of it. I need to put up that mirror to look at it and be like, Candy, I forgive you for that. I forgive you that you've done that. And there's a lot of things I got to forgive about me. I wasn't always the nicest person. You probably would not have liked me in my youth. I didn't like me in my youth. But I've come to terms with being able to forgive myself, realizing that they were survival skills. That's all I had. That's all I know. And I was doing the best I could. And was it in everyone else's highest good? Most likely not. But then on the other hand, not to make anyone a victim, if they chose to be around me, obviously it was part of their lesson also. So, but when you know better, you do better, right? So we just keep moving in that energy. Keep bringing that thought in your head. When you know better, do better. And a lot of times to do better or to do things generally isn't the easy way out. Like, it's generally a little harder. It's a lot harder. I always tell Michelle, she's my first teacher, and I yell at her all the time. I said, what? I was like completely content being asleep. Like, why the hell did you wake me up? This is a lot of responsibility. It takes a lot of effort. And you know what? Drinking and getting high really was working okay. Maybe not great, but you know what? It was an escape. Like, because life is really challenging. And she's like, really? Would you really been happy? And no, I wouldn't. But, it'd have been good to get a break every now and again, because it takes tremendous responsibility to walk a path of being conscious, of walking a path of being in service, of walking a path of knowing that every step you take puts an energy out into the fabric of life. And is that the energy that you want to put out into the fabric? What are the steps that you walk on the planet? What are you feeding the mother every time you walk on her? If you're walking in anger, if you're walking in hate, if you're walking in fear, that's what you're feeding her. So sometimes that helps me to be able to get out of my head or out of those lower energies, to know that that's not what I want to feed her. So I got to shift it. Like, so, for anyone that has kids, half the things that you do to improve your life are more based on doing them for your kids than yourself, initially. So to me, sometimes being a steward of the earth and really owning that, it's easier for me to shift my energy for the earth than it is for me, of knowing that that's not what I want to feed her. So in a nutshell, we're in some very powerful times. This is going to be a very powerful ceremony. And I really invite you to go in and see what are the seeds. What are the seeds that didn't bear fruit? What are the seeds that we have planted that were out of fear, out of scarcity, out of unworthiness? How do we bring the highest parts of ourselves forward? So the more that we can weed out those other seeds, so it's going to be twofold. We're going to try to weed out all those seeds so that we can become the most open vessel tonight, so that we can allow that energy of the new moon and of this new year to come and flood our bodies, to shift our cells, our organs, that our systems, especially our nervous system and our limbic system and our sympathetic system. So how do we reverse all those things? How do we open up ourselves to be able to be infused with light, be infused with love, and to make us be able to then step more into our wisdom? What, you know, to understand what is our wisdom? What are we here to bring forward? Well, if the mic is bouncing, just what I'll open you up for whatever reason, that's where it's supposed to be tonight, a little wonky. So you got to trust. Remember, we're not victims. So maybe that's time to more soak up the energy of it, because we know that's what it is. I'm saying words, but I'm just vibrating in energy. So allow that energy to come in. Allow that energy, because in a moment we're going to be more, it's going to be all just placing the elements and creating our I need despacho to create our giveaway for the mother. So drop into the essence of the ceremony. Drop into being in that place of reciprocity, because that's where we're going, is to be in Aini, to be in right relation for all that we were given, for all that we want to let go of, and know that we're blessed and held. That's what Spirit is sharing with me right now. Know that you are held. Know that wherever you need, you will receive tonight. Be open. Be as open of a vessel as you can, and just allow the energy to come to fill your heart, your mind, your soul, and just know, work with the whole time that I'm working, what are the seeds you want to release, and what open yourself up to realize, what are those gifts? What is this great bounty that you're bringing in? What did you receive in this time, in the last 3 months, 4 months? What gifts did you have? What are you going to bring forward into your life? What is the magic and the power of you that the world is waiting for? So with that said, we're going to open directions, and we will start the ceremony. Just let me glass water. Mouth's a little dry. Yeah. And if I can stand, we'll see. So just close your eyes, bring in the energy. The winds of the south. Sachamama, great serpent. Help me wrap your coil of light around us. How about shed our past the way you shed your skin in one clean swoop? Help us to stay out of that place of the suffering and step into that place of impeccability. Thank you for teaching us how to lay belly to belly with the mother. And thank you for any and all healing that will occur on the physical level. Oh. The winds of the west, Aturango, Mother Jaguar, thank you for coming and protecting our medicine space. Oh, thank you so much for teaching us how to go over that rainbow bridge, how to have 1 foot in this world and 1 foot in the next. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for teaching us how to be peaceful, luminous warriors, so that we learn how to walk on this planet, yet not leave a footprint. And thank you for any and all healing that will occur on the emotional level. Oh. The winds of the north, Jasita Kinte, great hummingbird, grandmothers and grandfathers and ancient ones, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for taking us to this place of the mythic and of magic and of the imagery. Thank you for teaching us this place of stillness and flight, being the eye in the center of the storm. Oh, thank you for teaching us how to take that epic journey in our life. Thank you, more importantly, for teaching us how to drink directly from the sweet nectar of life and no longer source from places that no longer feed us. Oh. The winds of the east, great eagle, condor, Apuchin, you will fly wing to wing with a great mystery. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for taking us to the mountains that we only dare to dream of. Thank you for teaching us how to fly wingtip to wingtip with a great mystery. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And more importantly, help us to remember to use and utilize eagle vision. Help us to see the limitless possibilities available at all times so that we once and for all step out of that place of being fated and step into that place of our destiny. Oh. Pachamama, great mother, thank you for coming here for the healing of all your children, the two-legged, the four-legged, the creepy, the crawly, the fin, the fur, the winged. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being the true alchemist and taking that which no longer serves and bringing it back to us in the gifts of gold. Oh, thank you for being that true mother, that divine mother, that place of grounding and a foundation and of nurturing and of sustenance. We make this despacho in honor of you, in honor of all the gifts that you bring to us, all of them, the seen and the unseen. And we thank you for being that representation of the divine mother. Oh. Mama Key, Star Nation's Great Spirit, you are known by 1,000 names and you are unnameable. Thank you for the hearts and minds and souls of everyone in this circle, and for all those connected to this circle that cannot be here this evening. Please whisper in their ear and touch their hearts. Please let us know that which is ready to be released tonight. But more importantly, that which is ready to be acknowledged and brought into every inch of our being to create such a bounty. Such a harvest of these great medicine that we have grown, this great medicine that's ready to be awakened, to be put out, and to be in service. Help us to illuminate it. Help us to acknowledge it. Help us to own it. Help us to live it. Oh. Woo. Alrighty. Just gonna make a prayer. So we'll start by putting the sugar in, creating that cross, bringing it in for the sweetness of life. So take a moment to appreciate the sweetness of life that's in your life. Know it's there, even if you can't see it or feel it. You give an offering to the mother, Pachamama. Offering to Inti Tai Tai, Father. not usually precedented, but with today, I heard before we get started, I'm going to place the frog in first. Frog is representative of the messenger to spirit, but it's also it conveys, it's about the waters. Think about it, the frogs, the places of the waters, the places of that energy of the water. So I'm going to place this in the center. And we're going to take a moment to do something. Where we connect to that energy of the water energetically as a group. And pray that if it be in the highest good where the fires are, because it's not our will, we sometimes don't understand why something's happening, but if it be in the highest good, that the waters go and reach those places with the fires at this time. Let this frog be a messenger. Let it carry that prayer, that heart-centered feeling to the great mystery so that that prayer be answered. Letting go of any attachment, but just praying to the energy of water, its healing qualities, its medicinal qualities. And from this place of radiating light, let's also hold a circle of energy and radiate our presence, our heart, our light into the center of this circle, and make a prayer for all those that have lost their lives in the fires and to the animals, that we hold them in this radiant light so that their souls may be able to be released, to be seen, to be acknowledged, to be heard, to be held. All uplifting. And you can place in there anyone else that you know that has died, that you want to make that prayer for, and all those that have died from COVID. And hold them in this place of love and see their souls in the center of our circle go up, to be lifted up, to be lifted in light, to be lifted in love, to be lifted in honor. And I'm hearing also to those places that are getting so much water that it is creating destruction, if it be in their highest good, for those storms to be able to be more gentle, to create more balance. We have some places that are totally drowning and others that have absolutely no water at all. Such a dark contrast, such an imbalance. So pray for the balance. And once again, only if it's in the highest good. And feel it in your heart. Feel that compassion and love. And I thank you for your service. And know that I will be putting in the kintus now. So the layer that I will be placing in first are the layers that you can connect to and tend and put your prayers into. That will be in the base. So start saying your prayers now as I place them in. Through your mind's eye, you are here, you are connected. Well, actually, we'll do it this way. Jules, this is for you.
Melinda.
Melinda, this is for you. Carol, this is for you. This one will be for everyone that connects either tonight or for the next couple days that I will have the Despacho out for their prayers to be held. And you can take that time to just continue to make your prayers. And just remember that even though your kintus are in there now, it does not mean that it's the end of you needing to pray. They're just our base. It's what holds us so you can continue to make your prayers and know that they are holding you. So we'll put the shell. The shell is that place of the womb of creation, that womb of the mother. Holding and anchoring, and it will go right on top of our frog. I'm being guided to create our outer circle with the rose petals. Bringing that quality of healing and of beauty. So close your eyes and feel, where's the beauty in your life? Where's the beauty that maybe you don't acknowledge? It's the beauty in your dreams. So place in there the representation, like a water beads, the masculine and the feminine. And the flute, the gold and silver. Kind of what I've been hearing is we've been taking life so freaking seriously, and I understand that there's the definite need for that at this time. But if we forget to enjoy the music of life, if we forget to learn how to laugh and smile and to create joy, how will we bring that forward? So it's okay to every now and again, even with all the devastation and what we see, to bring joy into it, to bring love into it, to bring music into it, to bring vibration into it. Spirit keeps saying it's time to take ourselves off the cross. It's time to stop suffering. Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. It's guided to bring their candies and their stars. We all have come from the stars. We've all come from the cosmos. I was trained that we're all connected to a star when we're born. That's our soul star. And that's how we radiate. So I'm going to place a star in each one of the directions for us to learn how to radiate our star essence, to radiate and be able to transfigure that light. So my intention as I place this in is that we all learn how to access that cosmic light energy that lives in us. That light of pure love and joy, of music, of abundance. The pure essence actually of our spirit. We are from the stars, and may we radiate and shine as such. And in so knowing that a star is never taught that it needs to shine, it just shines, right? And it also knows that it's limitless. A star doesn't shine for a period of time and then it runs out. So to know that we are limitless and that that energy we carry holds no bounds. So may we all learn that that energy can come forward and be brought into everything, and it will never run out, and it will never not serve you. For candy, building blocks. For that to represent home. Not the home we live in. It's great if we have a home we live in that we love. It's great. This home. How do we become so in love and so comfortable being housed inside this home? And I make that prayer for each and every one of us. Obviously, even if it turns upside down, like that home. So take a moment to really think about that. Connect inside your home. And then connect with that cosmic radiant light that is you. And feel it start to awaken. Feel it expanding and growing. So you can literally feel it come out of every pore in your body. And especially have it feel that you can feel it coming out of your hands and radiating out of your hands. And this is the gift that you can give to yourself and to the world at all times. It is abundant. It's never ending. It's ever flowing. We'll put a little bit more sugar on top of that place of love. Have it spiral out from our core, from our center. So it can touch everyone in our outer circle. But more importantly, the whole fabric of life, because we are all connected. We're going to place pomegranate seeds, or if you're from the hood like I am, they're Chinese apples. But they're these rich, fertile seeds that pop, and they give so much life, and they have the color of life, that red essence of the root chakra, that place of creation with the seed in the center. Everyone connect in with your essence, that place of your root, that place of absolute power, that place that grounds us, that place that roots us into this earth, connects us to the belly of the mother. Feel yourself rooted, feel yourself grounded. Let's place in some protection with our black licorice. Protect our prayers, protect our sacredness. We'll put rice in to give it fertility, so that all this that's coming become fertile. There's seeds that were just planted become fertile. We'll put these beans in that place of how do we connect with those power places? Power places that are all around. But what I'm hearing is the most important power place is in here. It's in that home. It's in that essence of us. It's that place of being connected to our star, to being connected to our spirit. That is the most important power place that you can access at this time. We place these chia seeds in for sustenance for our prayers, so they can have the fuel and the energy to manifest and to form. We put the animal crackers in to honor all those animals that have lost their life once again in all of this natural disasters. To all of our spirit guides that walk with us and guide us. And to our four-leggeds that are in our lives that teach us that place of unconditional love. That awaken that awareness within ourselves that we are capable and deserving of such a beautiful gift. We add the nuts in for the plants, for the plant medicine, for the plants that feed us and nurture us on a daily basis, for the abundance of that, for all the different medicines that we have available to us to stay healthy, to stay strong, for all those remedies in our life. There's alphabet noodles, and what that teaches us is how do we step outside of language? Because language can be so limiting. The same with the more I'm learning that our sight is so limiting, because we only see through how we perceive. And most of our talk is self-talk that is based out of limiting beliefs. So how do we step outside of time and step outside of language so that we can talk from our hearts, so that we can learn how to communicate in different ways, in ways that are life enhancing, not only to ourselves, to all those that are around us. So take a moment with this one with me. These are the raisins. This is us calling in all of our ancestors, our personal ancestors, our ancestors that went before us, that have literally breathed life into us. To honor them, to thank them, and take a moment. Spirit's asking you to take a moment and think of what is some of the medicine and the gifts from your ancestors that you carry with you right now, that you can bring more into your awareness, more into your everyday living. So just take a moment as I place it in and think of what is the gift or gifts from your direct lineage. And I'm going to place in now the fig, and it's wild when I opened it up. There's so many seeds in there. There's so many seeds. And a fig represents the ancestors of this teaching, the ancestors of this medicine way. To honor them, to thank them for this lineage, to thank them for passing down this way of being able to make a prayer. So for all those ancestors that sacrificed their lives and risked their lives to continue to be able to bring ceremony and bring prayer and to bring in what I believe is the only way that we're coming out on the other side of this, is to step more into that indigenous way of being in reciprocity, of being in Aini, of being a steward of the land, rather than trying to have power over. That we learn how to be in alignment and live here in a reciprocal, Aini, balanced way. I ask for the ancestor to give us guidance. We'll place the sage, the cedar, and the lavender in there to ground in our prayers. to cleanse them, to ground them. We put in the money to guarantee the success of our despacho. This was interesting today when I was putting the asking what spirit wanted to have. So obviously a couple different things in here than's normally in here. And one of them was I was told to put in a black feather. So feather is always about giving our prayers wings, to give our prayers that lift to be able to transcend. So I was told to put a black feather in for what is those shadow pieces of us? What are those shadow pieces of us that need to be lifted, that need to be elevated, that need to be brought into the light? And this is how I was told to guarantee the success of that, is to place this black feather in. So as I place it in, give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to let go of those places that hold us in shadow, to let go of those places. And like I said, we're not condemning it and we're not eradicating it, but we're saying that it's no longer the driver. So this is how we bring it into balance, is by bringing it into light, honoring it, thanking it for its service, but literally to give it wings so that we can expand and be freer to express that light side of us. And I'm hearing, and to let go of that collective fear, that collective negativity, that collective place of victim. And we will give that corn so that it will bear great gifts. Mucho. Spirit saying mucho. Don't mind me. I just hear Spirit talking in my head sometimes. Spirit saying, well, I see Pachamama going, where's my chocolate? Where's my chocolate? So for anyone that missed out, including my husband, who actually lives here, this is chocolate, but it's shaped like stones. So I thought, wow, for shamans, that's really cool. So it's like almost like honoring what at Sweat Lodge you call the rocks, the grandfathers that come in and they come in to speak to you. So to me, it was kind of like honoring Pachamama with the chocolate, but also the grandfathers, the ancient ones that come and speak to us, that speak to us through the stones, through the plants, through the trees, through the wind, through the sun, through the air, all the elements. Thanking Pachamama for all the gifts and for holding us so sweetly. Prayer. To the place of the divine feminine. May we all know how to tap into her. It's not just exclusive to women. Men have that place of the divine feminine also. May we all learn how to access her. All know how to bring her into our life, to bring in her medicine. May we learn how to tap into that divine masculine. That place of right action, of right movement. That place that when we are able to find balance within ourselves, within it, it assists the feminine in feeling safe. It brings safety for that part of us to be able to be expressed in this world in a healthy way, in a healed way. Place that's connected to the mountains, the Apus, to that place of wisdom. We place in the rainbow ribbon that teaches us how to go over that rainbow bridge. How do we have one foot in this world, one foot in the next? And what I mean by that is it helps us to learn how to be that conduit. Because that's the goal here, right? We have to have one foot in this world because we are living in a 3D world. So you have to pay bills, know when to cross the street, when to get out of the way of a train. But not losing connection to that we are the stars, we are the other side, we are infinite. So when we can learn how to connect in and balance into both of them, then we become a conduit into this world. That's where we be the change we wish to see in the world, because that's the energy through which that is coming through us. Not needing to do anything. I think that's where we get caught up in our egos, and we got to do something huge, got to do something big. We got to do. But bottom line is, who are you? How do you show up? Are you coming from your heart? Because in that, you are creating such amazing change. And yes, some of us will end up doing even bigger parts. But the biggest part is to show up every day and bring your spirit self forward. We put in the red and white fabric. And the red is indicative of that red road. That red road in which we walk, that path of being in service, that path of the connection to the mother, and of being in stewardship rather than ownership, of being in reciprocity and of honoring and of loving. The white is that connection to the stars, to the cosmos, to the galaxies. The cotton is that connection to dream time. Dream time isn't necessarily when you're asleep. It's more important to learn dream time and aware time, because every moment we're creating. So every moment we are dreaming and envisioning our world into being. So my prayer as I place this in is that we become way more conscious of what we're dreaming into being in every moment, and more importantly, in our aware or awake time, so that we can consciously start to dream and courageously dream our world into being. Got a little cotton on my tongue. Once again, placing in that place seems very important with everything going on right now, our connection to the stars. And this confetti, which is always about the abundance of life, but today it's all about the fall leaves, the foliage. So to me, it's also in that connection of those gifts that we're harvesting right now. They're all the fall colors of the leaves. So may we joyfully bring in all them beautifully radiant gifts. All the great medicine that we have developed over the last year, but especially the last 4 months. And may those seeds that grew into great, great, great harvest go out and go into the wind, get sent out. But that's what this is. Wade grows a garden, a very large garden outside. But he also will harvest the fruit, well, mostly vegetables that we grow, and collect the seeds and keep them for next year. So these seeds that are going in right now are the seeds from our garden that grew amazing fruit, that grew amazing vegetables, that grew amazing abundance, and then have given their seeds for us to replant for next year. But may these be representative that as we have grown great fruit and great medicine, those seeds go out, like they just go out. So may these seeds and the medicine that we grew go out into the world and be received by any and all open. Just a little bit more of this. And my favorite part at the end. So let's just ground in that thought That those great seeds and medicine that we grew just were blown out for any and all open on the planet. That it went out into that fabric of life. And we will end it with my favorite part of glitter. So may the beauty that sparkles within us sparkle out and shine bright and illuminate, more importantly, within ourselves. May the many facets of ourselves be able to be brought forward. And may we use that inner light we connected with tonight, that light of ours that's connected to the stars. May that be what's reflected out in the world for all to see. Maybe that be what we bring, put that foot forward. And may we more and more deeply connect in to that place within ourselves. Oh, so I'm going to take a picture of it real quick, and then I will have Ashley bring the camera over so that you can see how pretty it is. Yeah, I would, yes. Yes, so Ash is bringing it over. So can you see it, how sparkly and how pretty? I'm pretty. I don't know why I'm talking like that. Some channel and something. So let's just take a moment. It's big work. It's big work done. Big work that didn't have to be, all I keep hearing is so big. Because it was gentle and compassionate. So just place your hands out wherever you are and feel its yumminess. Feel its energy. Feel how full it is, how rich it is, how abundant it is. Feel how it's palpable. Feel how it's alive. But more importantly, feel its reciprocity and its aini, of being in right relation. Right relation with the earth, right relation with the stars, right relation with all the elements. But more importantly, right relationship with ourselves. And feel that energy pulsing in through your hands. And since we can't cleanse each other the way we normally do, as you feel that energy pulsing in through your hands, tap it into your body to clear you. To your heart, to your arms, into your legs, wherever you need it. Letting go of all the sludge. Around your head, letting go of all those self-deprecating thoughts that block us. Your heart, any barriers that we put up because we're so afraid to be vulnerable. And feel how you feel a little different, a little shinier, sparkly like the Despacho. We'll close her up. Oh, don't mind me. I'm definitely somewhere else right now. Something long enough to come out of this. Remember, we put the final Kintu on for any and all prayers that we may have forgotten. And 2, because I will not burn this for a couple of days, because there's quite a few people that couldn't make it tonight that will be watching this later. And so it is. So I want to thank everyone. Actually, I was guided beforehand to pull a card. So let's see what the card has to share with us. It's my deck, Work with Light. So I figured that was appropriate because I knew tonight was going to all be about light. Okay. So Ashley will put this up for you to see. It's inner temple, right? So it's called Inner Temple. So devotion, tune in to the portal of your heart. You're being called to be a devoted student and to tune into your heart, to incorporate true devotion into your life. You could be being called to develop a regular meditation, journaling, or chanting practice, or show up to your soul with rhythm. To develop a daily practice where you flip up your well and spend time with your soul, where you fill up, where you fill up your well and spend time with your soul. All of the answers to all of the questions that you seek are waiting for you in the portal of your heart. But you cannot hear them unless you carve out time each day to listen. Your soul is yearning for a deeper relationship with you. And so the more time you spend with it and show up to it, the more clearly it will guide you. We are here to grow as souls. Earth is one big playground for the soul to learn. and you're being called to go deeper in your soul's growth, or to increase your devotion by being a student of a lineage or a spiritual teacher. If you have already been a committed student, then you're being commended for your devotion. Your guides want you to know how proud of you they are, and that the time you spend in devotion is priceless. If you are questioning your career or life path, your guides want you to turn your focus towards devotion and this prayer. Please use me in a way that delights my mind, body, and soul. May my life be one big moving prayer. So I'll say that one more time. Please use me in a way that delights my mind, body, and soul. And may my life be one big moving prayer. So may all of our lives be one big moving prayer that honors the spirit that lives within each and every one of us, that is unique unto itself and has a gift that is meant to be brought out into the world, and we all come together and create this beautiful masterpiece. And we all each have our individual part of that fabric. So thank you all for showing up tonight and for answering your soul's call to come into alignment, into I need with this beautiful energy that we are going into, so that we may be able to ride this wave of the end of 2020 in as much reciprocity and gentleness and ease as is possible. And for some reason over here it's being very freaking goofy. So I don't know about you. So obviously we're supposed to be freaking goofballs, so go get goofy. But we'll close directions. Love you all, and please be gentle with yourselves. And I'm hearing be very mindful of your prayers. And for some reason, okay, I'm being told to have everyone just close their eyes for a minute and feel your third eye. And feel how it feels a little different. It's saying tonight help to open this inner seeing. Feel how it feels a little different. For me, it almost, I feel like movement in it, like someone's tapping it, like waking it. So take a moment to connect in and see how your intuition is being activated right now in a different way than it was before. Because when we can activate, we've already activated the root. Okay, now it makes sense. So we activated the root through the pomegranates. We activated our heart through the ceremony. And now our third eye is being activated and opened a little bit more than it was before. Because that is right mind, right heart, right action. And that's how we can be a moving prayer. And even if you don't feel it, know that it has happened, and it will continue to open and evolve. So as you're sitting with that, I will close directions. The winds of the south, the great serpent, Sachamama, thank you for your coiled light. Thank you for helping us shed our past the way you shed your skin in one clean swoop. Oh, thank you for teaching us that place to lay belly with the mother. Oh, teach us that place of impeccability. But more importantly, thank you for any and all the healing that has occurred on the physical level. Oh. The winds of the west, Atarango, Mother Jaguar, thank you for coming and protecting our medicine space. Thank you for teaching us how to have one foot in this world and one foot in the next, how to go over that rainbow bridge, how to live fearlessly. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for teaching us how to be peaceful, luminous warriors so that we can learn how to walk on this planet yet not leave a footprint. And thank you for any and all healing that has occurred on the emotional level. Oh. For the winds of the north, the cedar, kinsey, great hummingbird, grandmas and grandfathers and ancient ones. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for this place of mythic and of magic and of imagery. Thank you for this place of stillness and flight and be in the eye and the center of the storm. Thank you for teaching us how to take this epic journey of life and continue to teach us where to drink directly from the sweet nectar of life and no longer source from places that no longer feed us. Whoa. The winds of the east, great eagle, condor, Apuchin, you who fly wing to wing with the great mystery. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for taking us to the mountains that we only dare to dream of. Thank you for teaching us how to fly wingtip to wingtip with the great mystery. And thank you, thank you, thank you for giving us eagle vision so that we can learn how to walk on this planet, yet not leave a footprint. Pachamama, great mother, thank you for coming here for the healing of all your children, the two-legged, the four-legged, the creepy, the crawly, the fin, the fur, and the winged. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being that true alchemist that takes what no longer serves and bring it back to us in the gifts of gold. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I thank you for this place of the divine feminine. Just thank you. Thank you for teaching us how to bring that nurturing love and abundance and grounding into our life. Help us to learn to ground in this energy every day. Help us to awaken and become more aware of how to be in reciprocity with you, how to be more in stewardship. What do you need from us? We are open and willing to listen and to grow. Oh. Inti Taitai, Mama Key, Star Nations, Great Spirit, you are known by 1,000 names and you are unnameable. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the hearts and minds and souls of everyone in this circle and all of those that could not be in our circle tonight that are here with us in spirit. Thank you. I ask you to continue to whisper in our ear and touch our hearts. Please continue to show us how to move with this energy, how to move with our soul light, how to move with our spirit, being the driving force behind the vehicle of us. Help us to learn how to become more at home in our bodies, more in alignment with our destiny and our purpose, but just more present to be, just to be in that state of awareness, of love, of service, and of wisdom. Oh. So I want to thank you all and many blessings to you. I will be ending the ceremony, but I want to thank you. Thank you for answering the call and for coming here to be in service, not only to yourselves, but to everyone out there. So thank you. Someone might have said. You're welcome. Okay. Love to all. And